So today, we've got Rosie the Big Red Dodge in the shop. Everything has a shelf life. This one, the last year or so, other than fixing stuff that absolutely had to be fixed, she hadn't really gotten a whole lot of attention. Oil change here and there. That's about it. So we've got some issues that need to be worked out. I'll show you what they are. So the first thing we got to work on, actually, it kind of deals with the last oil change I got. Riley, if you could, park please. Park.
Park.
Thank you. So at the last oil change, the boy geniuses at the oil change shop, nope, I try not to change my own oil because, I don't know, I guess I'm lazy. What they did is they actually cross-threaded and destroyed my drain plug. Let me show you. Now that is a drain plug that has been cross-threaded and the seal has been busted. What it should look like is this. Now, this doesn't look like much, and you would think that an oil pan plug would be super easy to come by. Not necessarily the case. About the time this all happened is when all this COVID business started working out, and evidently there was a run on drain plugs for Dodge diesels. I just got this, and I ordered it 3 weeks ago. Super fun, right? But if you notice, if you look real close here, let's see if I can get that to focus. Please focus. Please focus. It's not going to focus. You'll see that there's a little... okay. There's a little rubber gasket around here. What they did when they screwed this back in is they waited, or they just screwed it all the way in, tore that up. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to replace that. Parts that you're going to need for this repair are going to be a 3/8 inch ratchet. You don't need an actual socket, you just need the actual ratchet head. You're going to need a new drain plug. You'll notice that's just a little square head. It fits the 3/8 ratchet head. And you're going to need this. Now it's a trade plan because it's liable to get messy. Next thing.
You're going to need a pirate.
Okay. The next thing that you're going to need is a little bit of diesel oil because you're going to have to top it back off. And as usual, nothing but the best for my baby. Here we go. So what you're going to want to do, set this to loosen, insert, oh, and she's loose. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna unscrew this till it's just holding oil in. Then, quick as you can, you're gonna try and stick this in the hole very quickly and spill as little bit of oil as possible. I'm probably gonna make a serious mess here. Please don't laugh.
I am not gonna laugh. I am not kidding. I am not gonna laugh. I am just gonna laugh and laugh at you. Oh my goodness, I am not gonna want to do that ever.
Nice and easy. Set your ratchet to tighten. And job complete. You want to tighten it pretty good. Don't try to strip it out or anything. Just give it a little wrench. And then wipe her down. Now, come in here. Let's check the oil. See how much we actually lost. The beauty of these old 6.7 Cummins, I say old, I guess they're the newest ones, is super easy to work on. Oil right there underneath the plug that says diesel engine oil. Now, what I use, as I said, nothing but the best, but definitely want to stay within spec as far as the weight and all that good stuff. Just nice 1540. So, okay, it was that easy. Replace the plug, and as it turns out, the plug wasn't necessarily bad. It was boogered up, but not terrible. Anyway, replaced, oil filled, truck starts, runs great, everything's good. Now, the next thing that we got to worry about, and I'm going to show you over here, watch out, buddy. Rosie has a steering wheel that is, well, you notice how that's moving. Well, that gets really annoying when you're hauling a cattle trailer or a flatbed or, well, just a trailer in general, or just driving down the road. It hits a bump and that steering wheel starts going all over the place. Now, I checked, and the steering column itself going into the actual steering mechanism it's tight. It doesn't seem to have any issue. So that tells me it's in the tilt or maybe the clock spring, or I'm not real sure yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to unplug all the batteries. Big deal. Unplug the batteries if you're messing with a truck that has airbags. Unplug all the batteries, and we're going to pull all that stuff off. We're going to have a look and see what's broken. Broken. All right. What my esteemed associate here is doing is he is unscrewing the battery terminal, the positive battery terminal on the driver's side. These are 8mm. All right, both sides, battery terminals are off. Okay, so I got inside of the truck and don't want to bang that. All right, and what I discovered was it wasn't the steering wheel that was wiggling. It was the steering column, which I kind of expected, but I wasn't exactly sure what was wiggling. Let me show you what I found, and we may have fixed it. I'm never that lucky, but we'll see. Okay, underneath here, right there, is a bolt. That bolt and another one on the other side and two more back here hold the steering column to the dashboard. Okay? Now those guys were loose. Not like gonna fall apart loose, but like my junk's gonna wiggle loose. So I went under there, I cinched them down pretty good. I guess I'll try it. Just so you know, let me show you how I kind of took this thing apart, because I was thinking it was gonna be the steering wheel, but for those of you who don't know how it goes together, it's pretty simple. What you've got, I took the top off here just so I can kind of see what was going on, and I still got a little movement, but it's not as bad as it was. In here, right there, there are these little Torx screws, okay? They're super small, and they actually just screw in right there and screw to that little plastic piece. Unscrew that, pop them off. If you need to take the whole steering wheel off, you come back here and there's these little clips, and it would help if you have a mirror or something. There's these little clips, and they will actually release the airbag. Again, make sure you unhook the power to the truck. No battery cables whatsoever. Unhook, and then this pops off, okay? It's that easy. From there, it's a steering wheel puller, good to go. Underneath here, this is all just little plastic clips, and you can see them right here. And two screws that screw in right there. Nice and easy. Now be careful when you take this thing apart, because that's your OBD2 and that's your hood release. You don't want to bang any of these up, especially me. My truck is tuned and deleted, and if this gets broken, then that's bad news. I'm not exactly sure what would happen, other than the fact that it would be nothing good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put this stuff back together, and we're going to go for a little ride and see if I fixed the problem. Okay, this escalated quickly. Let me explain. As I said, I went out. Gave her a little test drive. And it didn't get better. It got worse. Let me show you what happened. This happened. That is a disconnected steering column. Right there. Okay, where the light is. And inside those little clips, you'll notice there's two that are completely busted off. Those studs go through them with a nut. Now, what I ran into was those little winglets broke off. The steering column went and I had a truck that was, well, not really controllable. So I thought, no big deal. I thought the little pieces that came off perhaps they were repairable. They're not. They're actually part of the steering column. So what started out with me thinking it was going to be just a couple of nuts tightening, no big deal, turned into a $1,000 ordeal, and I'm waiting on parts. I paid for expedite shipping. It was supposed to be here by Friday, this coming Friday, and what actually happened was I paid for the expedited shipping, and the company that I purchased it from, thank you, mopartgeeks.com, had the best price, but due to COVID-19, it could be 7 to 10 days before they actually ship the product. My truck's going to be down for 2 weeks. You know what that means? That means I can't do squat. So what I'm going to do now is take the column out completely, separate it from the intermediate shaft, and get ready for when the new part gets here. So come along, I'll show you how to remove the entire steering column from your 2010 Ram, because that's what we want to do. You'll notice different clothes, different day, because I'm gonna be honest, I was pretty upset about my old truck being busted. So I'm in a better frame of mind. Not great, but I'm still there. And now we're gonna go ahead and finish taking apart the truck. So far, I've showed you how to take off the lower shroud, and then of course I'll show you the bolts that are in the steering column. Okay, one of the big call outs is this lower shroud. Now, to get that lower shroud off, you're gonna need these power torque. Actually, you're just gonna need a T15 Torx, because right here, not sure if you can see that, it's not great, right there, maybe you can, is a hole, and at the very top of that hole is a T15 Torx. You can't get to it with a normal screwdriver. Okay, then you got to take off your release handle. As soon as I figure out how to do that, I will show you. Wait one. Okay, so oddly enough, that doesn't need to come off. You pull out this little Torx head screw out of the pocket that I showed you. This is the inside of it. And then what you'll notice, this is where the tilt column comes apart, or handle is. And it's already got a cutout in here, so you can just remove it. No big deal. Couple of things to point out. This, the actual gear selector, is part of the steering column. That comes with the new one. At least I think it does. Also, you'll notice the steering wheel is still on here. Typically, you get a mirror and you got to mess around with these clips and all this stuff back here while it's in the truck to pull it apart. And it perhaps could be incorrect, have decided that I'm going to take the column out and do it outside the truck. Will it work? Who knows? But right now, what we got to worry about is all the little plugs. And there's several in here. So you got to make sure, and do not break these. It will be a bad, bad day if they break. So this one actually clips in right here. What you need, basically you just need a way to squeeze this gently and it will pop out. Same with this one down here. Same with these two guys down here. And then you're gonna notice there's a little plastic clip thing right here, and that's kind of like a zip tie. Don't cut that. Just pop it off. There's another one right down here. Now, you might remember from my last video, I showed you this little guy. This is exactly what he's for. Pop that in there. And in theory, it should come apart. There we go. Came apart, and it's not broken. Win for me. Also, there's one right here that holds the airbag switch. Again, just pop it out, like so. Now you come in here. This little guy, just squeeze, and it pops out. Same with this guy. Squeeze, it pops out. You now have one of the main wiring harnesses taken out of the steering column. The next thing I'm focusing on is the actual gear shift. If you look right here, it clips on nice and easy. You take your handy dandy little popper and it pops right off. As you can see, everything is removed, and now I have to get down to that bolt right there. At least I think. I'm going to tell you it's a 13 millimeter, and I think it just squeezes onto the shaft. I think. Now, if everything goes correctly and that comes loose, this little dude is going to do a little videotaping. And he's going to watch Dad lug this heavy turd out of here. So let me see if I can get a wrench down there.
And we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, there you go.
So does Dad even know how to brake a truck?
Yes, I know how to brake a truck. I'm really good at braking trucks.
Except you're breaking other things.
Not breaking it, taking it apart. Okay, let's see if I can get this thing out now. And steering column.
So now he's done, so I think we're gonna work on something else in the truck.
Okay, this gaping maw used to be my steering column, but now with the help of Ryder Lee,
Which is right here.
here is steering column. Now, let's point out what broke. On this column are these two little fittings, I guess. And what those do is they actually hold the column in place. This one holds the back end of it. These two hold the front. You'll notice this little cast aluminum broke, which is why my steering column fell in my lap. Okay. What you got there was how to remove the steering wheel. I thought I was going to be able to get everything into one video, but as it turns out, it's a little more involved than I thought it would be. So it's going to be two. So stay tuned for the next part. Should be coming out in the next couple of days. And y'all take it easy now.